What's up, everybody? Welcome to a presentation with Ashley Mitchell, Millionaire Mitchell. Gonna have her tonight. Check out this intro video we have for you guys. Ladies and gentlemen, Ashley Mitchell's with us tonight. What's up, Ashley? How you doing, girl?
Hey guys, how are you? I'm excited to be here.
Excited to have you.
Definitely excited to have you. As you see in the bottom, just to refresh all your fans, two-time champ, Evasion and Final Reckoning, 18 daily wins, 3-4 record eliminations. I can't believe that. You're below 500. We'll fix that. And total earnings is $1,121,250.
That's the only one that matters.
That is the only one that matters.
That's all I care
about. Ashley, man, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I really appreciate it. It's really cool. And after last night's episode, let's just dive into it. You gave us a little bit of an inkling that we wanted to do this interview after Wednesday. We were wondering why, and now we got the answer. We figured it out. You're back. I think it's better for the challenge. It's better for the fans, and you make the show way better. So,
thank you.
How was it coming back, and how was the process? Did you fly home and come back, or were you still in Iceland?
So after every season, either I win or lose, I always stay in whichever country and like go to surrounding countries or just stay in that country. Obviously, for COVID, I just stayed in Iceland where we were.
Oh, okay.
So I had been there for like, I don't know, it was like 10 days. I mean, you guys saw it's been a few weeks now on TV, which it's not that long when we're filming it. But right. I was on my way to the airport, like literally in the taxi. And I had an overnight flight, so it was late one night. And that's when it really sinks in that you've lost. You know, you're going back to your real life. You know, you got to go to your friends and tell everybody. You know, I've still just been hiding, not getting on social media, just like, you know, pretending like I'm not a big loser. But once you're on your way to the airport, it sinks in. It's heavy on your chest. You're like, damn. So all of a sudden I get a phone call on like WhatsApp. And I'm like, what the heck? And I answer. And it's like the big producer, not one of the field producers, not the casting producer, like the HBIC. And she calls me and she's like, she asked, she's like, where are you? I'm like, on my way to the airport. And I knew right then what she was going to ask, you know, and I'm like, she's like, can you turn around and come to the house? I was freaking out, dude. I literally was like, the taxi driver turned around. He was like, what the hell? I'm like, I'm going back. So, I had to get the COVID test again. So I had to quarantine for like 2 more days before I was allowed back in the house. Because I was just out living my best life. I was living it up, you know what I mean? And Iceland doing tours because they don't have hardly any COVID. They had like 30 cases. So you don't have to wear a mask or anything like that. So, I mean, I was just, you know, going to fancy restaurants, drinking too much wine, going on tours. I mean, honey, I was living.
That's awesome.
Now, how was it going in there after the whole Fessy thing? How long did it take for you to realize what had happened?
With what? The Korean Fessy thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, okay, so I was in Iceland. Nelson had got evicted or eliminated. So I actually met up with Nelson and we, you know, caught up. So I kind of knew a little bit, to be honest with you. But I mean, I just knew Nelson was mad at him. But once I got back into the game and realized Corey was my partner, I kind of didn't even think about that at the moment because it was just all a lot. I mean, when I got back into the house, there was already so much that happened with like Troy and Nisa kind of being, you know, some of the girls said like, I guess like mean kind of. That's what, you know, people were telling me. And, you know, Cam's like, oh my God, I got so much to tell you. Big T's like, I got so much to tell you. So it was over freaking whelming. I mean, it's way different when you're all in there together, starting at the beginning. When you come back in, it's like, and I was just praying that one of my friends won the challenge because I knew that people are going to be jealous just for, I mean, to be honest, they're, you know, other challengers are like, what the heck? Why is she coming back? I mean, they already don't they already have a target on my head because of the $1 million, you know.
Right,
So
right.
I mean, no matter what, even though you know it was my worst enemy, and you know how horrible the whole season was for me, they still can use that to target me. So now coming back, they're like, oh, she gets another chance. So I'm just happy Big T and CT won, because that was probably my only freaking chance of being safe.
Right.
Do you think it was a good heads up that you had that little tidbit from Nelson going in?
Not really, because me and Fessy never really worked together anyway. So, I mean, no.
So speaking of Fessy, we had Devin on here a week and a half ago, I believe, and he was telling us that Fessy as a character is just boring as hell. Is that true? Is that what's going on with Fessy and his character?
I mean, he's not as much drama as a lot of us. I mean, some people don't like that. I mean, that's why I said I'm a very polarizing character on the show, because you either love me or you either hate me. Yeah. So, like, it's because I have drama, you know. So without the drama, he's kind of, it is reality TV. People like to see it. So I mean, I don't disagree with Devin.
We got Austin chiming in, hearing Devin saying Corey is the worst partner he has ever had. Do you agree with him?
That Tori is the worst partner he's ever had?
Corey.
Oh, when we're I think Corey's a great partner. I love him. I've worked with him twice. Well, I've actually worked with him 3 times, because Rivals 3 Invasion at the final one of the days, and now and he just works good with me. I guess we've always actually got along, and he kind of understands me. He can talk me off the ledge. We saw it in Rivals 3. We didn't see it on Invasion, but on the final I was like freaking out. I'm like, and he kind of calmed me down. And so I like it working with him. I think he's a good partner. He did horrible. I mean, I really thought that maybe he sabotaged because he didn't want me to be his partner, because he was the only boy that didn't get the rope up.
That's true. That's
so
true.
That was like out to get me. Like, I was really paranoid getting back into this house, y'all. I'm like, what the F? Like,
yeah.
Oh, I mean, I was like sweating, but Big T and like Amber M and them, Amber B too, they're all like, no, you're good. Don't worry. You're good this week. Like, we have the numbers. And I'm like, oh, okay. At least I know the house. I mean, I can breathe, you know. I hate that not knowing feeling. Yeah, I'd rather know or not know. Like, I hate being blindsided. I guess everyone does. You know, who's like, I love it. You know, I love it. I completely get looking like an idiot in front of everyone.
Hey, so going into Evasions, if you could take it back on the first day when you guys had to pick a partner, who was your first choice? I know you ended up with CT and put a big target on your back, but what would have been your first choice?
Okay, well, I've told some people this before. So actually, when I was going into the house, I have these weird, like, some people call me like a witch. I'll always have these weird feelings and they come true. Like, I said on Rivals 3, like, I'm probably going to jump out of an airplane the first day, and we did. I felt like Invasion for some reason was going to be like Survivor, and at the beginning of Invasion was like Survivor. I knew 32 was going to be in Africa, and I told everyone I was going to win $1 million. That wasn't even an option. So this season, I said coming into myself, and I should have listened to my damn instincts, because I wanted to pick Josh Martinez. I mean, because he has all the Big Brother alliance. I mean, I know he's a little crazy like me. I'm not sure. But I've worked on the USA team with him on season 34. So I know that he's like actually really good to work with. He works well with girls and stuff like that. So I actually went up to him first. They don't show all of this, obviously. They don't have time. And I was like, do you want to be partners? And then all of a sudden, Jarrell, because me and Jarrell are like friends, you know what I mean? Like outside the show. So he like, he's like, Ashley, and I'm like, it's Darrell, a legend. You know what I know? Yeah. I'm like, bye, Josh. Who the hell are you? I like push him away. I'm like, I don't even know that guy. And then all of a sudden, CT, because I don't know. I mean, me and CT have worked together before in the final, and we worked really well together.
Killed it.
We killed that day.
Yeah.
So we knew that we worked well together, and we're friends. So when he came up to me, that was hard between Jarrell and CT, because I'm friends with both of them, but I've worked with CT before, and It's CT. It's free. You know what I mean? It's just, it's, who's going to say no to being partners with CT?
Right.
I wish I would have. I didn't even think about being a target. Like Corey and Nelson came up to me like, you know, the next day or one of the days before I got nominated. He was like, they were like, what the were you thinking? Like, do you know like how dangerous your team was? Like, you are the biggest target in this house. I'm like, me? What? I don't understand. Huh? I'm like, oh my God, what was I even thinking?
And it
But
didn't.
I just don't find myself to be like a big scary player that people should want out, but I'm starting to realize I am.
And it didn't help that CT had Cam ask him, and then he was like, kind of like, nope. And then he kind of ran off and kind of ran right to you.
I didn't even know that actually, but yeah, that's not good. And also in that first daily challenge, some of the vet boys, like I think it was like Corey and Nelson and a bunch of the guys wanted to all work together. And CT, like, you know, because we had to remember these colors, right? So they were all going to try to work together, and CT like pretty much said no. And so they were kind of like, well, we don't trust him now either. So yeah, it was crap.
Awesome.
We got a couple comments in. First, Brent chiming in. Who are your top 3 most overrated challenge players?
Overrated. Oh my God, you guys, that's mean. You know what? I think the people who like always talk the most and the loudest are, you know, like Zach. He in the final, I mean in the final with him 34, and he was just complaining. I never heard someone complain so fucking much. It like made me so negative. Like, oh my God, just shut up and do work. I mean, you're freaking, you know, 6'5", 300 pounds. Just shut up and do work. So that was really annoying. But God, I hate putting people down though. Overrated. Let me think. I really.
Well, we got Jack chiming in. Tori easily.
Ah, she's sipping. Oh man!
And then he also said Zach is another one.
What about Paulie?
I don't think he's overrated. That final, I know he crapped out on, and everyone's looking at that. But him and Zach actually, after that final, and I'm just talking about him bitching so much now, I feel bad now that I think about it, because he actually had to go to the hospital. It was like his kidney or something like that was barely working, or 20% or something. So we had like very little electrolytes. And this is what I always think. The people that are the most in shape in the final, like once they get to the final, like that have no body fat on them, they usually like kind of tire out, because your body, we don't eat anything. We're going for 2 days straight. We're not sleeping. If you don't have any fat to burn, your body's going to start going on your, you know, organs and stuff. So that's what happened to Zach. So I think that he just cramped up really bad, because he was real small. Like he was very lean back then, more than he is now.
Yeah, he was.
So, I mean, and he is great at the daily challenges too. He wins daily challenges, and the final reckoning final, he did amazing. I mean, that was a much easier final, but I mean, I also do like Paulie as a friend too. So we haven't got to see as much of him as we have other people to be able to really tell. Okay. But I mean, him and Natalie would have won that final reckoning final if Natalie wouldn't have got lost. So, I mean, people don't really think of that. They just think of Sylvia and Joss coming in second. But Paulie and Natalie, they lost so much time on that run, that like 15 minutes or 10 minutes or something like that. So they could have really won.
If they would have gave you and Hunter that time, we're pretty sure that Sylvia would have won, right?
That too. Yeah, that too. Yeah, believe me, honey. That's why Hunter kept trying to like step up and say something, like intervene, and I'll just grab his arm. I'm like, because I was just letting them kind of like dig their own grave and go at each other. And believe me, as you guys can already tell, I have a problem with talking. You know what I mean? I'm not get in the middle of it, anything like that. But it took everything, and my whole body, my whole insides were shaking. I'm like, oh my God, because I knew if they threw that bomb on us, we'd be screwed, and we went at once. So I was like,
hey Ashley, how far off were they? Did they ever? I never. Now I don't know if I ever read it, or how far away time were they from you guys?
I think it was less than a minute. Yeah, it was less.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. And then Hunter was like same, like he was just like less than a minute than me or something like that.
Oh my God. Hey, so let's shift gears a little bit. How was it growing up in San Francisco, California for yourself?
No, I didn't grow up there. I just lived there for a long time.
Oh, you lived there. Okay.
I grew up in West Virginia, so in a small town opposite of San Francisco. Then when I was like 19 or 20, I packed up and moved to California. I moved to San Francisco. I love San Francisco so much. I lived there for like 8 years, I think, until just recently.
Okay. Well, my bad. I got my sources wrong. My apologies. Sorry about that.
Oh, no, it's okay. I mean, you can tell by this horrible accent that comes out on the show when I'm mad, when I'm tired of drinking. It just comes out really bad.
I hear you.
How was the culture shock going from Virginia to San Francisco?
It was major. I mean, I remember the first few days that I lived there, I was just like looking up at like the tall buildings. I mean, I really hadn't traveled to very many places. I mean, just pretty much to the south. Like Florida was like the farthest I'd ever gone. So seeing that big city, I mean, I was just in heaven. I was like, I'm never not going to live in a big city for the rest of my life. I mean, I was in heaven. I always told everyone when I was little, I was like, I'm going to move to California and I'm going to be famous. When I was like, since I was like a little kid, my neighbors always tell me this. My neighbors from back in the day always remind me of when I'd say that. I'm like, well.
That's cool. So it was one of the questions we got. How did you get cast for the Real World Explosion?
Well, pretty much I was like doing promo modeling, different stuff, like a little bit of acting in commercials and stuff. And I had been out pretty much at a rave at like a festival, and I got back into San Francisco, and my other model friend, Ben, he messaged me, and he's like, they have an audition for the Real World today. You have to do it. You'd be perfect. And I'm like, honey, I'm not going to no damn audition. I am feeling rough. You know what I mean? I was feeling rough. I was like, hell no. So, but I couldn't sleep, so I Googled it. And I was like, I wonder if I could apply online. And there was an email that you could send. So I sent an email. There was a bunch of questions that you could send as an email. And each question I answered was paragraphs. You know, they're like, tell us about your boyfriends. I'm like, oh, honey, this is going to have to be a whole, I was into it. And literally that same day, I think they emailed me back with more. And I mean, within a week or two, they flew me to LA to kind of do an interview, you know, on camera to see the way I'd be. I filmed but from where I was in the industry already, like, you know, TV type industry anyways, I knew some videographers. So when I had to send a video, my video it wasn't just like on a cell phone or like, you know, it was like legit. It was like a real world episode. It was me and my girlfriends at the club. And my friend came over the next day, and like I was looking rough, kind of like doing a confessional like we do. And like interviewed me. It was really good.
That's dope. That's dope. That's dope. Speaking of that season, I know a lot of drama went down that season, this and that, but are you still close to your roommates from that season?
Well, I was never really close with any of them besides Corey and Jenny. So they made it seem like me and Corey like hated each other, but he was really one of the only ones I got along with in that house. And we always stayed in contact, even after, because when I quit the season, I moved to Paris. So even when I was in Paris, we stayed in contact. We still stay in contact, you know, every once in a while, just, you know, when I've been drinking wine, I'll message you and be like, oh, your kids are so cute, or something like this. You know what I mean? Like, I'm so proud of you. You're a good dad, or whatever. So we didn't contact often. Obviously, we filmed together. And then Jenny, I was talking to her a few weeks ago, actually, when I was in Mexico. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah, I stay in a little bit of contact with them. But those are the only two. Everyone else can kiss my ass. Assholes.
Right? How is Jenny still with Brian?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Go ahead, Daniel.
We got a couple comments for Archie. Bring that drama to Canada, sunshine.
I've been to Canada. I've been to Montreal.
Okay.
We got Hunter. Austin saying, "Would you do a Rivals 4 with Hunter?"
Well, honey, we don't know what the season's going to be before we show up. We don't know where it's going to be or who we're going to be with. So pretty much they fly us to LA. This season, they quarantined us for 2 weeks. They fly us to LA. lock us in a hotel room for a night or two at the most, usually. This time it was 14 days.
Right.
But and then in that time we have to give away our cell phones. So, well, they let us keep it this time because of quarantine, but usually we give our cell phones away. So you have no way to contact anyone. They take the phones out of the rooms. That you don't have your computer, iPad, anything like that. And then the next morning, everyone goes to the lobby. They take us to the airport, and we get our tickets. So I mean, we have no way to contact it. Yeah. I mean, you can kind of see. I mean, of course, we all like gossip with each other. Of course, I'm like, if I get casted, I'm like, hey, Cam, did you get the call? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We all kind of do that a little bit here and there. I probably do it the least out of anyone, but I'll contact my friends. You know what I mean? Like, hey, Cam, did you get the call? She's like, yeah. Who else did you hear got the call? You know what I mean? Then boom, 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 boom. So you can kind of say, oh, okay, well, there's a lot of half UK, half US people, or once you get to the airport, you see everyone's got an enemy, or you can kind of, you're like, oh shit, okay.
What?
Yeah, I definitely would do one with. I mean, I wouldn't quit or anything. I mean, he was an amazing partner, but honey, that final would be a fucking race to hell. I tell you, me and Hunter in a final again, shit. We just, I don't know.
That'll be a lot. That'll be heavy ratings. I'll tell you that much.
That would be real good if you could get revenge on me that way, huh?
Right. Rivals 3 was obviously your first challenge. How was it getting the call, and did you ever expect yourself to even go on a challenge?
No, I honestly hadn't. I don't even remember. Okay, well, I'm going to regress real quick and say something first. So I don't remember ever really watching the challenge growing up. But in one of my yearbooks, I saw that my favorite show was like The Real World and the Challenge. And I'm like, well, gosh, I guess, I mean, obviously I used to watch it, but I sure don't remember that. But no, I never thought I'd be on TV again. You know what I mean? I pretty much didn't think about it. It was such a miserable time for me. But when they called for the challenge, I'm like, wait, you can win money? They're like, yeah. I'm like, because they didn't pay crap on The Real World, honey. I mean, they paid, it was a few $100 a week in the most expensive city in the USA. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So I was like, I hated it. So when they're like, oh, you can win money, I'm like, sign me up. And when I went to get my shots, because we have to get like vaccinations and stuff. And when I went to get my shots, I went on my laptop and I Googled the challenge. And the first thing I saw was Jenna, like, and she was on my Real World season, although I wasn't in the house at the same time as her, but I knew her a little bit. I saw Jenna like falling off a freaking building in Turkey or something. I'm like, what the hell did I sign up for? I'm like Googling more. I'm like, oh my God. And yeah, and so I think I had talked to Corey maybe a little bit too. So I mean, I was nervous, but I'm a big competitor. I grew up competing. I mean, I was on one of those cheerleading teams where they're throwing bitches in the air real high doing gymnastics. Like, I used to do crazy like gymnastics and stuff like that. So, and I grew up doing beauty pageants, soccer, softball. So I love to compete. I've always been athletic. I've always, been the captain of the team on the varsity team, winning nationals, winning first place. Like, I don't like second place, obviously. That's why I usually am a crybaby when I lose. But this season I did good.
That's true. That's true. That's true. So Ash, let's talk about it. Evasions was your next season. You were able to come out on top, beating Camilla. What was the initial feeling that you had for yourself when you finally heard TJ say you're the winner?
Well, speaking of growing up doing beauty pageants and stuff, that's what it felt like because they did the boys first. So, I mean, CT got crowned, and then I'm like, why did they have to do the girls second, damn it? And so then they did the girls, and I can't tell you the feeling of how nervous I was. I mean, once they said Nicole was in third place because I hated her that season, I was like, oh, I might win this thing. I was like, oh my God. And I also was like, middle finger, because she said on the first day of that final, and you're going to be in last place. And she was the one that got last place. So anyways,
it's true.
It felt like it lasted forever. I didn't think he was ever going to say it. I felt like I was going to pass out. I was so fidgety. If you go back and watch, I mean, I can't stand still. I'm playing with my hands like this. I mean, I'm praying to God. Literally, I'm literally shaking. It was a crazy, crazy feeling. And when he said my name, it was, I can't even say, it was just as good as winning the million. I mean, winning the challenge is a feeling like you can't even just describe, because you have the 2 or 3 days of a final where you're just in hell. You're putting your body through hell. You're not eating, you know what I mean? You're doing crazy stuff and you're exhausted and you're just completely drained. And that another wave of emotion, you know what I mean? From being so just exhausted to when you win, like in that night when you go back, you don't get your cell phone either because you have to do another interview. So you have to be locked in a hotel room by yourself, knowing you just won $1 million, or on that season 130,000 or whatever.
Oh my God!
I mean, I was like, it's horrible, but I always try to use the hotel phone and call my mom, and I'm like, I'll pay it. I'm like, I want $1 million. I'll pay the. I don't care how much it fucking is to call them.
Hey, looking back on that final, looking back on that final, do you think you picking CT for that challenge, that overnight challenge you did, was that like a huge validation for you, thinking that, okay, this was the right move for me to do this?
Well, no, because that day, Nelson and it was Corey. I'd already picked Nelson. Well, the reason I really wanted CT the second day is because I knew with my witch powers, I just freaking knew that there was going to be eating on the second day, and CT is obviously the beast.
Mm-hmm.
I just figured the last day they're not going to do eating on the last day. You know what I mean? Because I figured it was going to be a shorter day, which it was. But once we got to the eating part, we each had to eat our own thing. He couldn't help me, so I was like, damn it. And then we had to do the tightrope thing where we went up that tightrope, and he fell off that and made us time out too. And that wasn't really that big of a problem for me being a gymnast. You know what I mean? Like, I'm used to balancing myself and using those muscles. So, but once it got to the puzzles, he just killed it. So he really made up with that. And he's good at keeping me motivated. I can get tired, and he's good at, come on, you're doing good, babe, and that type of stuff. That I really need a partner that kind of does that for me during finals. It really helps me. So
awesome.
I can do it by myself. Obviously, I did on season 34. I mean, nobody on that season was helping me. I felt like, well, me and Cam had each other's backs, but that final was a shit show.
Oh yeah.
I mean, having him. And then on the beaded part too, he didn't touch the beads once. I'm the only one who did the up all night part. I'm the only one who did it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he didn't touch it one time. That's why when he said that when they announced we won the time bomb or whatever, that's why he said, "Good job, babe," because he didn't even once touch it because his fingers are so big and those beads are so little that he did help me.
Makes sense now.
He passed me the beads because some of the holes were smaller, some of them were bigger because they were handmade little wooden beads, prayer beads.
Right.
So he would go through and try to find the good ones and hand them to me. That was our method, and when I was a little girl, I used to make all kinds of things out of beads, like animals and bracelets and all kinds of weird shit. So I'm like, honey, this is nothing. I'm doing this.
Good, Daniel.
Would you ever choose to be partners with Bananas in the future?
Definitely. I mean, I've even recently said, if I go back, I might have to work with him because I don't know very many people that recently that have been wanting to work. I made some friends now with the new girls, so I just hope they get recasted. But it seems like every season I walk into this house, whoever was in my alliance is not there. I'm looking around. I'm like, well, what the hell? I had the Lavender Ladies. None of them get casted anymore. I had, the Cars Cult or whatever people want to call it, the Royal Family Cars Cult, and none of them get casted anymore besides Cam. So it's like, each season I'm starting over at 0, and it sucks.
As we get into where's that? There it is. Do you feel like your early exit during Dirty 30 was a regret for yourself?
Sometimes, but I know mentally I just wasn't. I needed to leave for a mental break. So I had done Invasion. I had made it all the way to the final. That was 10 weeks on camera, okay? And I hadn't really been on camera that long ever. On Rivals 3, I was only 6 weeks. And hell, the Real World, I was a couple weeks. You know what I mean? So I did that, and then I did the Chance vs. Pros right after. It was just a few weeks later, and I made it pretty far in that too, like a week before the final for that. So that was like 4 weeks or 5 weeks, and then right after that, a few weeks later was 30. So as soon as those lights came on, I just got this weird, bad anxiety. I know I said it was my suitcase, but that was just more like the icing on the cake, kind of, because I was feeling so anxious, so overwhelmed, and I just knew from my mental state. I mean, a lot of people, Camilla went freaking crazy that season. Cara said it was a really hard season for her too, just because all of us had done back-to-back seasons because we did that Chance vs. Pros in the middle. So do I regret it? Sometimes, just because I always regret going home early. I watch the show, and when I see the cool stuff they're doing, I'm like, damn it, I want to hang off a semi-truck while, doing a puzzle. Like, that's perfect, so that's the reason I regret it. But I think it was good for me to take a break mentally. I think a lot of us need, when you film 3 or 4 shows in 1 year, it's too much.
I agree. I hear you. Who is a cast member you're friends with that we might not know about?
Probably Nani.
Okay.
Yeah, me and Nani, like when I'm in the house, me and her have such a close bond. Like I honestly wouldn't know. I would hate to do a season without her because we're always like bitching, whisper. Like people are like in the gym, we're like, oh my God, do we got to go to the gym too? I guess. And we're always drinking our wine, or when we get to the challenge, we're hanging off a waterfall. I'm like, why do we keep coming back, Nani? But we actually love it, but it's just kind of like our thing. We like to bitch about it. Be like, we really hate ourselves, don't we? So she's like my girl. I really do get along with her.
That's awesome.
We got Carrie chiming in. Are you still in touch with the Lavender Ladies crew?
Oh yeah, we're in a group message. So we message each other probably a few times a week still. So, and Shane calls often. Amanda and Sylvia, I still hope one day Sylvia will come back. I hope Amanda will too. But I don't know. We'll probably just have to be text friends forever. Come visit each other. I visited Sylvia in Kansas City one time. But it sucks because everyone's just moved on. So, but they're doing great in life. Shane's got a great job. Sylvia's an amazing real estate agent in Kansas City. Kansas City, is that right? Yeah. Yeah. And Amanda, is a nurse, and she's got her little baby boy. So everyone's doing awesome. So I'm happy for him. But
that's awesome.
Still pissed off.
We got Michael chiming in. Ashley is a boss.
Thank you so much. I don't feel like it sometimes when you're on that show, but it can be intimidating with all those competitors.
And then Meg chiming in. You are my absolute fave.
Oh, thank you so much, Meg. I appreciate it. It really, like I said, I'm just from a small town, so all of the love and support from anyone is still very overwhelming to me, and I'm so grateful, and I appreciate all the love. Sometimes it's just like I can't believe it. I have to take a step back and I'm so grateful.
Definitely. So let's get into. I know you talked about a little bit to it, but we see you finally battling back a final reckoning. You came in halfway through the show and finally got that elusive second championship, so no one can call you a fluke because you're not a fluke. And describe to us how it felt when you won that second one. And I know the editing didn't help, but was it a snap decision that you knew you were going to take the money right away?
Oh yeah, no, I already. You can ask Marie, my girl Marie. I told her weeks before. I was like, if there is a thing like Johnny Bananas did, honey, I'm taking it, because I would be crying every day in the bathroom. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if I can hang on anymore this season. Like, it was just so bad for me, like miserable. Like, I just knew it. The feeling was much different than the first win, because the first win was just elation, just happiness, just pure gratitude and joy. But this one, I wasn't happy in what I had to do. I was happy I won. I was grateful I won, but I didn't get joy out of taking the money. I just knew that's what I had to do for me. You know what I mean? I knew it. And I knew my mom would kill me if I split $1 million with someone that was that mean to me. She would have freaking killed me, literally. So she would have never let me live it down. So, everyone has their own family and their own bills and their, things to, they want to do. And $500,000 and $1 million is a big difference, especially after taxes. People forget about that.
Yep.
So,
Yep. How accomplishing did it feel to be the highest money earner ever in challenge history at that time?
it was the best thing ever. I mean, I still feel like I am because I'm just $60,000 short of
That's it.
So I can do it. I can do it. I just had to get one more win, and I believe in myself. And I'm going to do it. But I mean, it was really cool, to be able to tell people, yeah, and I'm the highest winner ever. They're like, what? And I'm like, yeah. Even look at all these fit boys that are on here. I even beat them. It was really awesome. But if anyone's going to take it from me, at least it's the GOAT, Johnny. I mean, he has 7 wins or 6 wins or 7 now. So, I mean, I can't hate on it. He definitely deserves that title for a little bit, but not forever.
And it took him the last season just to go over top of you. So
I know the prize money used to be a lot smaller back in the day, but also challenges were a lot easier.
All right. What made you want to come back to War of the Worlds? Did you regret coming after being taken out first because you knew that Hunter was going to be there and all that animosity and all that?
I knew that I was going to be taken out first, or I knew I was going to have to fight my whole freaking way in. That's kind of why. Well, I mean, I got a horrible partner, so I actually didn't lose that elimination. Me and Georgia both tied, so he was the one who lost the 2 points. So I don't look down at my performance. I actually feel like I did really good. Georgia's a great competitor. So all I can really do is actually be proud of myself because I did pretty good in that. Do I regret because of my stats and all that type of stuff? Not really. I don't care about that, really. My stats, I care about when I show up, honey, I get a paycheck just to walk off that plane. And it's a pretty nice one. So my mom was like, once again, you'd be stupid not to show up and get that type of money that, they're paying you. So, and think about this. If I go home first, I'm making more than just 1 week worth of pay. I'm making a guarantee. So going home first, honestly, is better for me than going home because I make the same amount of money. So, I mean, I make the same amount of money until after the 5th or 6th week, or the 4th or 5th week. So it's like,
that's good.
I mean, believe me, I don't want to lose. Never. I'm a sore freaking loser, and I hate it. So it's not like I go into elimination and ever give up. I mean, you saw me and Georgia fought for. Well, you didn't see the whole thing, but we were down in that dirt for almost an hour on the second round fighting. Damn. So I definitely gave it my all, but no, I don't regret it. Whatever. Give me that, honey. Just give me a paycheck. It's my, I look at it as like a job, and I would like to make the million every time, but I realize it's going to be hard for me, and it might take me another season or 2 to not have such a big target on my head. I mean, I hope not. Luckily, on season 34, I had a great alliance, but they were great friends, and that's what I usually base my gameplay off of. Is it sounds so stupid, but it sounds so corny, but friendship. Every alliance I've had, I stay friends with the people. It's so
true.
It's hard for me to just have fake alliances in there and stuff like that. Like Fessy, how he turned on his friend. I would have if Sylvia was down there, I would have never been I'm going down there. No,
right.
My friend, and I want her to be in the final with me. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, if it was Big T down there, I would not have put myself, even if it was someone that I thought was a weak competitor, if they were my friend, I would not have put myself down there. I don't know. I play with my friends.
I agree with that.
And it's crazy because the week before the whole Fessy thing, they had Wes on, and he made a whole speech about not turning his back on any of his friends.
Yeah, but see, the thing with Wes is that he's full of shit, dude, because he turns his back. He said that I was his friend, and he turned his back on me plenty of times, and he makes alliances with everybody. That's his problem. And I mean, before we get on the show, and everyone knows that, we walk in and we all laugh at him. You know what I mean? On season 34, we're like, dude, he literally tried to tell everyone, oh, you're my number 1 or my number 2. You can't tell everyone that. People talk in the house. We're just a big house of gossips, honestly. So it's but I love Wes.
Lord.
I do love Wes, though. Don't get it wrong. I really get along with most of all of my cast members. There's no one that I really hate. And, they're the only people who know the hell that we live through. So, you have to love everyone and just know everyone's doing what they have to do to win $1 million. You can't get mad at somebody for, wanting to win $1 million.
Eddie also been in the past. He's also been a vocal defender of you. I am in past seasons. I know as of late he screwed you, but he gave you some love in our podcast a couple weeks ago.
I do love Wes now. I mean, I definitely would still trust him. I would still work with him in the future for sure. Because they're not very many intellectuals in that house. People to have like really cool conversations with, talk, about other stuff than just the gym. So having someone like Wes and Devin is awesome because, and CT, this season, because CT and Devin were in the same room and my room was next door. So I would go and lay in one of the beds that were empty. And Devin would tell us stories, some crazy story that he did in high school or some government, something about the government in Iceland or I don't know, all kinds of cool stuff. And we'd say bedtime stories. And so before we'd go to bed, he'd tell us a bunch of stories as we fell asleep.
What was
who is someone you would never work with?
That's a good question.
Let me think. Well, probably Hunter. No, I mean, it's hard to say that because one, I don't want to, if I say someone's name and they come to me in the future, and they want to work with me, they're going to see this and remember that I said I'm not going to want to work with them, so they won't trust me. So I better be quiet because
that'll make us look bad, Daniel. We can't ever answer that.
I gotta have, I want a few more seasons so I'll get that win. So I gotta try to be nice to people, y'all.
So Ashley, okay, go ahead.
You still cool with Cam?
Oh yeah, definitely. Me and Cam get along real well. This season, I don't know, we weren't on the same page, or I'm not really sure what happened. I mean, we were in different rooms, and sometimes that happens. And it was a really weird season and it was hard to trust anyone. So hopefully in the future we'll be able to work together again because I love her. She is a friend and she's a cool girl. And I like to be around her. She's a very calming presence in the house. My energy is a lot, and I like to be around Cam because she can kind of calm me down a little bit. Or, she's the balance me out kind of, I guess.
So for me personally, Ashley, War of the Worlds 2 was a team game, obviously, and you were able to make it to the end. I honestly believe this was your best outing I have ever seen you play since Invasion. Would you agree to that as a social standpoint? Because I know your friends were there, but it seemed like you were the rock for that alliance during that season.
Yeah, I would say that was probably one of the games I played best socially. And shout out to my grandmother because she told me what you should do is because I told her I didn't have any friends coming on that season again and I might be screwed. And so she said, you need to be nice to that girl that you were mean to when you won that money, talking about Cara. She's like, you should apologize. She said, you should apologize for being mean to her. And I was like, you're right, Grandma, just because that's the right thing to do, not even for the alliance. And she's like, yeah, that's right. And I'm like, okay. And so that's kind of exactly what happened.
Nice.
But that was a really good, because we even got the UK team to vote in some of their best players, but we were voting in some of ours too, like Tori and Jordan. I think that was probably the best I've played in a long time. I got to get back on that level, you guys.
You'll get there. You'll get there.
Damn it.
You'll get
there.
Why
didn't you switch to the UK team to get that win, Ash? You're smarter than that.
Like I said a little bit ago, though, I like to play with my friends. And so if I wanted to run a final, it would have been crappy to have. Well, and I thought running a final with Jordan would be miserable. I just thought he would be screaming at me. But I listened, and he actually was pretty good on that team. He wasn't angry they were doing really well. So, there was no reason for him to. I also get the question a lot. do I think I would have won? And I think I would have had a much better chance because I wouldn't have been so exhausted from carrying the thing more than some people. Sleeping probably the least out of anyone. So once I got to that puzzle, my brain was exhausted. You know what I mean? No sleep, overworking. I mean, I was just, when you're physically tired, your brain does not work at the same level. So I might have been able to get that puzzle done. So do I regret it? Sometimes. I mean, if I had that third win, damn, I would be a boss. I really thought I was going to win that season 2. Like I told you guys, I get these weird feelings like a witch. And I really thought I was going to win that season. And I thought having Leroy on my team, like, because he deserves the win. Him and Cam both, I think, are really good competitors who just haven't got the win yet. And I was like, I don't know. I just believe in, like, I don't know, karma, I guess. And I was like, being on the team with them.
And then didn't you go into the last elimination before the final? And then you came back and you're all popping it like.
I went the fork off because I had just saved CT and Rogan the
Yep.
week before.
Yep.
I was one of the 3 in the what's that called? The tribunal. I was in the tribunal, and I did not say their name, even though they were on the other team, and it would have been much better for us because we knew it was the last week. You know what I mean? So it was like, they edited out a lot. They showed me going off a little bit, but I'm not joking when I say I went off for a good 30, 45 minutes. I mean, I could not calm down. I was so angry. You saw I pulled back and almost punched Rogan. I was like, get the out of my face, dude. I went off so scary that when we went to the bar that night, Rogan and CT were literally sitting in a corner, and Leroy's like, Ashley, they're terrified. They're afraid when you get drunk tonight that you are going to kill him. I'm like, I probably am. And they're like, they sent me over a shot. They're like, we're so sorry. Like, we just had to do it. But I'm like, oh, you're the only one that can swim and do puzzles. And I'm like, oh God, I hate you guys. I was so mad. But like I said, I try not to take things too personally. Of course, in the moment, in the heat of the moment, I'm a firecracker, and you really need to watch out. I mean, honestly, everyone was scared, even producers. Like, but everyone was like, "Oh, I got fined because they were trying to calm me down, and I just kept cursing, telling everyone to like pretty much kiss my butt, with way worse curse words added in there." And I wouldn't calm down, so I got fined like $200 taken out of my paycheck.
Yeah, well,
sorry.
You could afford that.
Yeah, it was worth it.
Do you watch other seasons or the season you're on when it airs? If so, which season is your favorite so far?
Well, it's hard because the seasons that I've won or the seasons I've gone far in, 34 was my favorite probably because I didn't get that bad of an edit and I did really well. And that elimination was really cool. I love to rewatch that. I rewatched that one on YouTube more than I probably watched the Final Reckoning. I think that one's like when people want to see that is like the video I show. I think it was a really cool elimination. But
you kicked ass in that elimination too.
Yeah.
I got lost, y'all, for a good 10 minutes or more. Like I was way ahead of her. So like, but the puzzle, I finished the puzzle so quick that producers literally, like some of the producers still didn't even know what the puzzle was. Like they were like, what was that exactly? Yeah, because I did it in less than 5 seconds. It was like boom, boom, boom.
Gee. Oh my God.
I have another puzzle performance. That y'all haven't seen yet. I don't know what it is. A producer has asked me just recently, like, how are you doing these puzzles in like less than a minute? And I'm like, dude, I don't know. It's like I just black out, and it's like, what's that new show that's out, the Gambit or whatever?
Queen's Gambit.
Yeah, that's what I feel like. It's like I just can see exactly where everything's
like. Ashley, I know you mentioned a little bit about you having carried most of that in the season 34 final. I just want to know, is it true? I've been hearing a lot of rumors about Ninja's performance. Is she not that good of a performer when it comes to these type of challenges?
I think that she tries to save her energy and herself a lot. That's what I felt like. You know what I mean? Because there was no reason for her not to carry it like at all. You know what I mean? So it's like, I understand she's shorter and that was her reason, but Kara's short too. D is just as short. So, yeah, me and Cam, Leroy carried the whole time. He was the MVP of that section of the final for sure. Like, he was, I mean, Zach didn't even carry it the whole time. He bitched and complained the whole time. So.
Do you guys always assume TJ is going to have a twist each season?
I don't. I don't. I guess I should, huh? I'm sitting over here thinking about it. I'm like, is there a twist every season? I guess so, but you know, I don't know. I mean, I feel like we can kind of tell. I don't know what it is. Like, we kind of know what's going on a little bit sometimes. You know, there's very few times that, because you notice like where the cameras are going, or you know, like little things like this, especially us vets that have done it so much. I'm like, wait a second, why are they setting all the stuff up over here? Or why, you know, you start noticing things like that.
How do you like the new twist that they added with the Red Skull? Where
you know, I don't fucking like it. You know I don't like it. Don't even ask me that question. You know I don't like it. I like to play. I like to play a social game. I used to be good at eliminations. If you look at my Chance vs. Pros 1, I was so good.
Killed it.
And but I've been getting in my head lately of my own worst enemy, and I get in my head. I get too anxious. I get too nervous, and I just need to man up and just get it together. But I will. I'm going to. I'm going to stop being a little wussy and start stepping up to the plate and having more confidence in myself, because I've been looking, you know, paying attention that other challengers have more confidence in me than I have. So I'm like noticing that. I'm like, gosh, like the boys, who was it? Leroy and Kyle, before the season aired, you know, they did that. Who do you think is, you know, the biggest threats? They named CT, Darrell, Wes, and then little old me. I'm like, what the hell? Like, how are you going to list CT, Darrell, and me in the same sentence? Like, that doesn't even, but I mean, I have to start, I guess, recognizing that, you know, I am the top earner, or one of the top earners, and I guess I'm better than I think I am.
You're a beast. You do have 2 challenge wins, which is more than other people, so.
I know. I wish people would forget about that. At least the challengers, not the fans.
We got Sydney chiming in. Ashley, you're great. Love watching you. So glad you're back this season. Team Ashley.
Thank you. I'm glad to be back. Hopefully I can just be funny. I mean, if you guys notice, they haven't really been showing any like drama. There was a lot of drama they're not showing. They're only showing challenges. So I'm like, goodness. I mean, I had some good stuff in there. You know what I mean? Like, there were some fights that haven't been shown. There's, you know, stuff that wasn't shown that I'm surprised I really thought was going to be shown.
How did you feel about the rookies this season? How did you feel about Lolo being on?
Well, I've worked with Lolo in the past, Chance vs. Pros, so I really like Lolo. How did I feel about it? Well, when I saw her and Natalie, and then there was supposed to be this other girl that was rumored from Titan Games, okay?
That
was a rumor, and I'm like, oh my God, like, come on, give me a break, you know what I mean? Like,
I don't blame you.
Cast anyone better, like an Olympic athlete, the freaking winner survivor almost twice, and the girl from Titan Games, like, no, like, this is too much. I was like so mad. I'm like, oh. But the rookies this season I like their politics. I think that they're all much smarter than some people that are already in the game for a while. So I like him. I was working with him. You know, I was in the room with Big T, so I definitely was glad that Big T won, because I knew the rookies weren't going to vote for me. So yeah, I was pretty happy with him, and I like him still. You know, I'm friends with Amber B outside the show, and yeah, I'm friends with a lot of them still. I like a lot of them. I hope they get recast.
Heck yeah. Hey, actually, I know on your Twitter account, you're very vocal about social justice rights and this and that. I wanted to get your opinion just real quick on the events that happened in our state capital. How as a nation can we come back as unionized?
Goodness, I don't know. I feel like our country is just falling apart, but it's like, a lot of the stuff that it's just honestly overwhelming. It really gets me like emotional thinking of how much hate, but it's like this stuff that should have been out for a long time. The way people of color have been treated in this country. It's sad that it's taken us this long to start talking about it. And these white supremacists, they're the ones that are getting angry because finally people are getting justice and people are speaking out and demanding. They're not, they're demanding justice and half the time not getting it still. But, we're trying to make a stance for what's right. And these people just can't stand it. But Joe Biden, he said that, he's wanting to work for both parties. He's not just, just because you didn't vote for me, I still am going to do right for you, by you because you're an American citizen. So I hope, he stands by his word and, the right, the far right, the alt-right, they can, see that we're not out to get them. We're just out to do what's right in this world and give people the justice they deserve. And hopefully they'll see that. I don't know. I hope.
Thanks, Ash. I appreciate it. I just wanted to get that out there. What has been your favorite elimination to watch, and what's been your favorite elimination that you have done?
My favorite elimination to watch.
And that's for all time.
Gosh, that's hard. Eliminations for me, even when I'm not down there, as I've mentioned a few times on this show already, I get anxiety when I'm in that house. And even when it's a boys' day or I know I'm safe, I get anxiety to watch people kill each other. You know what I mean? So, but one of my favorites to watch was CT versus Real during Invasion. That was a good one.
That was a good one.
My favorite to compete in was probably the one against me and Veronica when I had on Chance vs. Pros. I had to punch a hole through this wall and climb up it, and I fell at the very top, and I was like, oh, I thought I had lost it, and I made it back up there. My little scrawny ass climbed right up to the top, right at that fell, and I couldn't have, I couldn't have been more happy because Chance vs. Pros was crazy for me because I was still like a rookie. I'd only done 2 seasons of the challenge. I didn't know like half of those people. I didn't know, who a lot of those people were on Chance vs. Pros. Like Jordan, I've never seen him on TV or knew anything about him. So it was kind of like being a little kid, like, or a freshman at the senior party or something. I knew I was going to go in every time. I wasn't mad at it. But it was cool to get some wins and to kind of just show all those older people, or, more experienced challengers. Like, I'm a force to be reckoned with. Like, hey, the new blood's here and you better watch out.
Right.
Who else would you have teamed up with if CT wasn't on the season?
Well, like I said, Jarrell, or I wanted to be with Josh because he's got that Big Brother Alliance that's just, really strong. So it would have been cool to have been with Josh. And me and Josh actually can get along. Like, we have good jokes and stuff. But Jarrell asked me, and I was about to be partners with him. I didn't know who to go to. I mean, I was in turmoil. It's the hardest decision I've ever had to make in my life. It was 10 times harder than having to decide to take the $1 million or not, okay? That decision was way harder. Darrell or CT?
And how was the season without Johnny on it for the first time in a while?
A breath of fresh air. You know what? Not really. Johnny in the house is kind of nice. Even though me and him can go to each other's throats, he is hilarious in the house, dude. And he has so many funny stories. I mean, that's why he's been on TV so long. He really is a charismatic guy. He really is. So having him in the house is honestly, he's always doing something stupid. Or like right when TJ starts talking, he'll like fart really loud. And just like stupid stuff because I mean, we can get really bored. A lot of our time people don't understand is sitting on a bus. I mean, it looks like we're competing all day long, but like these competitions can be just a few hours and they have to set them up and get all the cameras ready. So a lot of our time is sitting on a day bus waiting. And a lot of times recently they haven't been even letting us talk because we'll do gameplay without the cameras there and they don't want that. So we have to sit on that bus silent, or they'll say, and that's called like hard ice. Like you're on ice, you can't talk at all. But then they'll say soft ice, which means like you can talk, but you can't say anything about the game. And we have mics on, so if you're whispering and stuff, they can hear that too.
They can hear you. Yeah.
Yeah. So
who do you feel could be the new face of the challenge?
I mean, I think Cam probably is. They're trying to make Tori be it, I think. I think to be the face of the challenge, you have to have a win under your belt, though. I mean, Cam has made a lot of finals and done really well. I mean, I would say me, but I don't know how many more seasons they're going to have me on, and I don't have that great of a face. But I don't know who could be the new one. We'll have to see. I think these rookies, if Amber M does really well, I think that she has a really great personality. Like she's not afraid to stand up and like say something. But I don't know which way they're taking it. They're going a lot more sporty nowadays. You know what I mean? They're going more athletes. So they are going maybe a different way than I think. So
here's a good one. How many days are between each challenge, and how many days are between the challenge and the elimination?
So Mondays and Thursdays are challenge days, and Tuesdays and Fridays are eliminations nights. So we compete in the challenge on Monday. And then Tuesday nights, we have all Tuesday day to sit around. Tuesday night, we go to the elimination. And that morning, Tuesday, we do usually the deliberation. So everyone's
okay.
Everyone looks so freaking horrible because we're all hungover. Because the day after challenge, or the night of challenges, we get to drink. So we only get to drink like 2 or 3 times a week, which is actually a lot. But honey, in that house, you need to drink every damn day. But so, on after challenge nights, we usually get pretty lit. And so we're pretty hungover for the deliberation. But that's why you got to be careful. If you think you're going into elimination, you don't want to get too.
Right.
So, but sometimes we do. I mean, there's been many people going into elimination hungover as hell or get blindsided. I mean, I've been blindsided when I was hungover, and I'm like, oh my God, I could kill you.
What do you take into the rumors of Tori and Fessy? Is that something that it was true, or is that something that we'll see in the season?
I don't know how much he's saying he connected with her, because he made out with me too. Like he was flirting with all kinds of girls in that house. So he's acting like he had this huge connection. And if I was her, I'd be like, screw you, because he was all over everyone. I'd be like, But she also was engaged. So, I mean, but once I got into the house, that was the number one rumor everyone was coming to tell me about, honey. I mean, people cannot wait to tell me. I got told by, 6 different people. I'm like, I heard. Yeah, they're all over each other. Okay, I got it. I mean, everyone in the house was saying, like, oh, they've been so. And then, I don't know. I wasn't there. Once I got there, Tori left quickly. She got eliminated.
Yeah.
And then Corey had that confessional when they're at the hot tub. I guess the episode right before you came back, where he said that it looked like something was fishy and looked like something was going on between the two of them.
Yeah, I mean, I heard a lot of rumors like that, so I don't know. It's none of my business, and I mean, I don't care, honestly. Yeah. I mean, this house is, I would never date a challenger. That's what I'm saying. I mean, you get locked into a house with a bunch of gorgeous people, and you're all drinking too much, and you're in this crazy, stressful situation. So would I ever date one of those boys? Hell fucking no. So any girl that does, I just am like, good luck, because it's a very slim chance. Like Corey's a good guy, but it took him a while to grow up. You know what I mean? I mean, years on TV before he wasn't sleeping with 3 girls a season.
Facts.
So,
Facts.
I mean, there's very few, Paulie, he turned out to be a good boyfriend. So there's a few, but I mean, come on. It's easy to fall in love, though, because you're under such stress and you have someone that can listen to you, talk to you, understands what you're going through. And sometimes you have the house coming against you. You know what I mean? So it's like you feel like you're at war together. And so it's easy. I remember when me and Hunter on Invasion, when we were hooking up, and, he was like, asking like what we were going to be after the show. And I'm like, fucking nothing. Like, this is a reality TV show.
Oh.
I mean, it's just like, because it's easy to fall for someone for sure in that house, but you have to realize when you leave that house, you go back to reality. You know, like actual reality where you're not told what to cook, what to eat. People don't clean up your messes. They don't, you know, we have a cleaning lady that comes every challenge day and does all of our dishes. And, you know, everyone in this house, it's like living with toddlers. Like, people don't clean up their plates. So literally after 2 days of not having the cleaning lady there, it's filthy. So it's, yeah.
I remember Johnny saying that when he goes on the challenge, he's one guy off the challenge, and then when he goes on, he's a completely different character, and that's how he changes things up.
Some people are like that on the show. Some people have a character they play, and I don't know how they can do it. You know, that's one thing I think that a lot of us kind of worry about the Big Brother people, because they are live 24/7, and they have to play a character. You know, we're telling, you know, dick jokes, and people are farting, and I mean, it's just inappropriate all the time in that house. So if we were filmed like live 24/7, I mean, it wouldn't be good. You know what I mean? Like, so some people go in that house and they can play a character. Me, honey, I can't hide my emotions for damn near 30 seconds. So I cannot play no character for 2 months. There's just no way. 2.5 months. So I just have to be myself. I mean, even if I try to play nice or whatever, sooner or later, you're going to get the bad side of me if that's what you deserve.
Did last in Total Madness, we saw, speaking of what you're speaking about, boyfriends and girlfriends in the challenge with Jenna and Zach. And it seemed like that really caused a lot of dysfunction between the girls, the Holy Trinity, I guess we could say, what they're calling themselves. Did you use that at all to your advantage?
Like what?
Well, just the dysfunction between Jenna and Zach.
No, I never really, that really never advantaged me. I went out early that season, so their whole thing is a mess.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, most couples that go on there, they do good on the show, but then it seems like off the show they're not good. You know, there's Cam and Troy are awesome. You know, she has like definitely balanced him out a lot and helped him grow up. I think they're a great couple, you know, same with Polly and Cara. So yeah, I mean, you can, I guess, find it and it can benefit you in the game. I think Leroy and Cam are playing this game perfectly when it comes to that. Staying in different rooms, getting different, you know, team members, things like that. It's smart.
Would you rather do Big Brother, Survivor, or X on the Beach?
Oh my God, I don't know. X on the Beach, they be drinking too much, and I'm too old. I mean, I get the worst hangovers. I lay in bed all day with hangovers. So I would like to do it because I wouldn't have to, like, it would be an easy paycheck. You know, I always love an easy paycheck. Who the hell doesn't? But Survivor, Big Brother, I would do both of them. I mean, I don't know. I don't know which one. I think I would be pretty good on both. Big Brother, the more that I look at it and the more I've been playing the challenge, I realize my social game maybe not as good as I think it is. So having something where I could compete more like on Survivor would probably be better for me.
I think you would kill it on Survivor.
Here's a good one. What kind of advice would Ashley today give to Ashley from Real World Explosion?
That this reality TV is just a job, not to take it so seriously. And I guess, like, even from my first challenge seasons, that, you know, these fans are going to flip on you. Because, you know, it's hard. People, you know, they think we signed up for this because we're on reality TV. But, you know, when you get the bad edit and everyone's coming for your head, we're just people. So, I mean, that can be hard. It can be overwhelming. Luckily, the past few seasons, even though I've performed pretty crappy, I feel like I've turned a lot of people into liking me more. Because I feel like they've got to see different sides of me and not just the crazy, angry side that they've shown in the past. So I would just say, you know, try not to take things so seriously, Ashley, and work on your anger, bitch.
On a personal level, do you ever want to have kids?
Oh my God, you guys. We just met. Calm down. God. I don't know. I mean, I always say, people ask me this question a lot. I'd have to find the right guy first. You know what I mean? And right now it's hard to even find the right guy because it seems once I start to get to know someone, I'm off being shipped to a different country where I can't talk to you for a few months. You know what I mean? So, and I haven't really settled down. I've been traveling the world for the past few years too. So I have to find myself the right man and I know you don't need a man to have a kid. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that's what I would want. So
what's your favorite TV show?
The Office.
Yes.
I'm obsessed. I've seen it probably, and I'm not joking, because I used to have to watch it to fall asleep. I've probably seen it all the way through hundreds of times. No joke. Easily. I mean, hundreds. Yeah.
What's your favorite episode?
I don't know. Not any of the like lovey-dovey ones.
No.
Those are so. I'm like, oh, whatever. But I don't know. I like a lot of them. I like when what's the guy when he spills the chili? I don't know. I can't even pick a favorite one, but I would have to say like season 2 and 3 are up there. I like that.
Perfect. Season 2 and 3 is my favorite. That's perfect.
We nosy like that.
We're nosy like that. Yeah, you guys are all up in my business.
You have a favorite film?
Pulp Fiction.
Damn. Oh,
oh
my God.
Josh said Kevin. I think that's his name.
Oh.
Drop the chili.
Oh, Kevin. Yeah, the guy with the chili. Kevin, thank you so much. Because I'd be thinking about that for an hour after we got off here.
When you go into these games, Ashley, do you rely more on your social game, or if you had to pick between your social game or doing a puzzle, which one do you feel like you're more confident in choosing?
Oh, honey, I'll do a puzzle. Recently, my puzzle confidence is skyrocketed. I don't know what it is, but I just feel like now I've learned to control my emotions while doing a puzzle. So I just feel like there's no one that can beat me in a puzzle. And you guys will probably see why I have confidence pretty soon. But
I can't wait.
Yeah, I really like puzzles. My social game, it can be good. See, the thing, hold on, let me check my battery real quick, you guys. Shoot, sorry. Okay, we're good for a second. Sorry about that. My social game, so I think I overcorrected this season. So last season I was trying to like be friends with everyone and talk social game to everybody, you know what I mean? And then this season I didn't talk game to like anyone. I tried to like back off of it because I didn't think I was going to be the target the first week because I'm an idiot. And I didn't think it was going to be Girls' Day and all kinds of stupid stuff. Anyway, so I think I kind of overcorrected and didn't want to get my hands dirty because you remember on 34, this is 35 this season, right? No, 36. On season 35, on season 35, I tried to get Bananas out right at the beginning and I got my hands dirty and then Bananas turned and came for me. So I was like, damn it. I tried not to do that this season, but it didn't work either. So I've got to find a ground in the middle, I suppose. Or hopefully I made enough friends this season, which I think I have made some friends that they'll be recasted next season and I can work with them.
Right. Who is the dirtiest ever in the house?
I don't know. Well, when it comes to the bedroom, Big T, because her clothes go everywhere. But I have to tell you, when it comes to the clothes and stuff in the bedroom, I can't point too many fingers because I'm not that much better. I'm not. Luckily, Amber B, though, she is a clean freak and she gets bad anxiety. So she literally like organized all of mine and Big T's drawers. She would like fold our laundry. We were like, oh my God, I love her. I'm like, I've never voted women ever. But she would do all the dishes in there.
Oh, wow.
Dishes and stuff like that. But I don't know. I guess I don't really be paying attention to people to notice who doesn't. I don't get angry. Some people get really angry. Like Jordan on season 34 would like literally curse everyone up and down, throw a fit if someone left something in the sink. You know what I mean?
Oh God.
So I just try not to. I don't give a damn.
What was the most shocking hookup in all your seasons?
Gosh, probably my first season when I hooked up with Jamie the freaking second night there. winner. I really didn't even know he'd won this season, or like I didn't even think about that. So that definitely was
Bloodline.
And you know what though, that gave me a lot of respect from like the vets, because the next morning I woke up, and most of the time I guess the girls like lie about it or try to like hide it, and everyone, like Johnny being a butthead as usual, started like clapping when I came out of my bedroom, and I just like took a bow. I was like, whatever, because they were literally like peeking in the bathroom watching us hook up. So yeah, it's like living in a frat house. This house can be.
What is your favorite color? That's what we're getting right now.
My favorite color, I guess, like black to match my soul.
Oh, there she is. Oh, I thought you froze. Do you see yourself? I know you said in the future you're going to see yourself probably in a few more seasons if you get recast in this and that. Is there an in game that you see yourself in where you're just going to be done?
I mean, I don't see myself ever wanting to give it up. I just love it too much. I mean, I'm a Leo, okay? So I love the attention. Let's just not be, like I said, I grew up doing cheerleading, beauty pageants, you know, then I moved to San Francisco to model and things like that. So, honey, I definitely don't mind a camera. That's for sure. But, yeah, I don't see myself ever, and I love to compete too. So I love the competition. This is like, how many adults, unless you're a pro athlete, get to, you know, compete, jump off buildings, run for miles, you know, not very many.
No.
And get paid, you know, to do it. So, I mean, and I love my castmates. I like the politics, being able to, you know, use your brains. And I mean, there's so much fun in that house whenever you look back on it. Now, when I'm in the middle of it, I'm not having as great of a time as I'm explaining it right now, because I'm so anxious and nervous and trying to, you know, figure my way to survive.
Yeah.
What was your favorite location to film at?
At South Africa. I knew, and I said it like before the season, I was like, if I ever go to South Africa, I know for a fact I'm going to win. I just know it. I don't know why. I just felt this weird connection. And I know that sounds super awkward, but I just felt this connection with it. And I always have wanted to go there, you know, do the safaris and stuff like that, which we got to do. TJ pulled the Jeep in the middle of a pride of lions, you guys. It was crazy, like literally in the freaking middle. They all like popped up, and the Jeep didn't have any doors on it. It was one of the safari Jeeps. And I'm like, oh my God. And production's like, stop, because they were in a Jeep behind us. But it was so freaking cool. It was, and then when we're in the helicopter, you see the giraffes like running, and they're like long necks, so beautiful, and like the zebras. I mean, because they were like hearing the helicopter, so they were like running from that sound, but it was so, it was like a dream. And then to know that I was competing in the final too, like it was just like, it really felt like a dream.
That's awesome.
What's next for Ashley?
What's next for me? Well, right now I'm in Austin. I'm looking to buy a house. But now my friends are telling me that, you know, this probably isn't a great time to buy. The housing market's really bad right now. So now I'm like, shit, I probably should have just stayed in Mexico. I just got home from Mexico. I was living there for the past 3 months. So, but then I was like, okay, I'm ready to like settle down, buy a house. I'm starting to get tired of traveling all the time. I know it sounds horrible. Oh my God, I'm just always on a beach somewhere, and I just hate it. No, but you know, it's, I wanted to settle down, but now I'm thinking, damn it, I should have just stayed gone. This country's gone to hell anyways in a handbasket. So it's like, I should have just stayed away.
Is there a place that you have not traveled that you want to travel to?
Oh, so many. I'm a huge travel fanatic. If you guys didn't know, I go backpacking. I go solo traveling.
Mm-hmm.
I've been to like over 30 countries. But yeah, I mean, I still haven't been to Ireland or Scotland, and that's like my heritage, sadly, but surely. It's the freckles. There. I mean, Australia, I haven't been to. New Zealand. I mean, I want to go everywhere. I mean, like I said, I'm from a small town, and I never got to travel growing up. So, honey, once I got that passport for the challenge, I was off. I was like, y'all ain't gonna see me ever again. I just want to see And I think it's so important to travel. I mean, it broadens your horizons. It makes you grow. You get to see other cultures and realize your way of thinking might not be the best way. And it's definitely not the only way. And it's definitely not the only right way to think, seeing different religions and cultures. And you just realize, how small you are in this huge world.
What country got you to think that? Was there a specific time that you went and were like, oh my God, wow?
Probably my first backpacking solo adventure to Costa Rica. And it was just
nice.
because I was by myself and I did a yoga retreat for a few weeks. So, I didn't have much cell phone service. And now when I'm traveling, y'all will notice I can go days without using my cell phone, using social media. Going to Thailand, seeing a whole different, culture like that, because a lot of the Latin-based cultures, Spanish-speaking countries, they kind of, they're all they're kind of similar, there's always the church in the middle of the town square, and, it's a Latin-based language, so you can read the words even if you don't know, you know what I mean? But when you're in an Asian culture, the letters are, way different. It's not Latin-based. So it's wait, is that say that? Is that the same thing? You know what I mean? So I love that, though. I think, when I went to Japan, that was really kind of overwhelming and scary because it was just so different. So I just love travel. I could talk about it for hours.
How often do you get to speak to family when you're in the house?
Once a week, but we don't start getting calls till the third week or so. And it's only for 10 minutes.
Jeez.
Yeah. And I'm really close with my mom and stuff. So that's hard. And my sister. So say if you have a boyfriend, which I've had for, in a few seasons back home, it's hard to have to pick, okay, well, I'm going to have to talk to you for a few minutes and call my mom or vice versa, or just not. One time I was kind of seeing two guys and I had to pick which boy I had to call each.
Dog, man, that's awesome.
Nothing knew about each other. Because it's a long story. That's
all good. When you were traveling, what is the favorite food you've ever ate?
Well, Iceland had the best food I've ever had in my life. It was so fresh. Oh my goodness. They eat a lot of lamb over there and salmon. And the salmon is fresh AF. And oh my gosh, it was so good. Even the catering that we got is usually horrible. And it was so good in Iceland.
Okay.
But I love food. I'm a huge foodie too. So I've been to tons of Michelin star restaurants even before I was on TV. It's my thing. That's probably the only thing I've buy that's super expensive. I haven't bought myself a Louis Vuitton. I don't really buy myself expensive stuff like that, but I will take myself to a dinner that is absolutely ridiculously priced, and I probably shouldn't do it, but you deserve to spoil yourself.
Right.
Treat yourself.
You're a millionaire anyway, so.
I don't do it too often though, and especially when you're going to other countries, especially, maybe areas that are a lot cheaper, let's say Mexico. I was in Colombia for a long time, Ecuador. You can get some amazing food for a much cheaper price.
Oh, I bet. Is your mom, do you get that from your mom, you think, as a traveler, someone that wants to go into all the different countries, or is that just you?
I don't know. My mom didn't grow up with very many opportunities. Where I come from is not very well off. It's not a wealthy place. And my mom, put herself through college, and she had me, when she was young, when she was in college.
Right.
So, and she was a single mother. So she never really had the opportunities that I have. I think she would have liked to, of course. Yeah. She's definitely a Democratic queen. She stands up for social justice too. I definitely get that from her. She worked for Child Protective Service for a long time. Now she's the head of the Human Health Department. She's the deputy director of West. I can't remember, but her boss is pretty much the mayor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Way up there when it comes to government work. So I definitely get that from her, but yeah, no one in my family really has had the opportunity to do what I've got to do. And I definitely don't take that for granted. I'm definitely grateful. And yeah, everyone, and where I'm from, everyone thinks it's so cool. You know what I mean? Even when I was just modeling in San Francisco. They already thought it was like a big deal and like I was famous, and honey, I was barely being able to pay my rent. So like, no, like, you know, it was just awesome it's awesome to get to have this opportunity, because where I come from, not very many people do.
Have you gotten to spoil her at all lately?
Huh?
Have you gotten to spoil your mom at all lately?
Spoken to her?
Spoil her at all?
Spoil her. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I take her out to like I've flown her to Vegas many times to come see me. I was gonna fly her down to Mexico, but her passport just what's that called?
Expired.
Sorry.
I got you. Don't worry. I got you.
You're good.
Thank you. It just expired, so she and it's impossible to get one right now during the coronavirus and everything. But yeah, I mean, we always do something. Every time I'm in town, I'm always giving her money too, like if she needs it. Not that she ever really does, but for her birthday, Christmas, things like that. Of course, I just give people money because I know that's what people want. In my family, at least. I mean, I get this from somewhere, and it's definitely my family. Like, yeah, I know we just want the money. I know what y'all want.
Oh, we lost her. I think her battery died, probably.
It might have.
Let's see. We're going to see if we can get back on. Daniel, do you have? Check out this video clip, guys, that we have for you guys for the week.
War. Tell them that's what we ready for. War. Tell them that's what we ready for. War. Bringing that to competitors. Do we see the confetti fall? Be ready for war. Tell them that's what we ready for. War. Tell them that's what we ready for. War. Bringing that to competitors. Do we see the confetti fall? Be ready for war. Tell them I'm ready, any opponent. The crown heavy and every minute is chosen. A path only fit for kings, and you all know what this court means. What did you enlist for? If it isn't getting more rings, then you gon' have to switch your team. Trust me, it gets more mean. I'm a nightmare going up against your dreams. First step is explosive like a bomb hit. Bet if I let it fly, I cannot miss. And you ain't got a chance at the top 10 when you getting clamped all night by your locksmith. On the block throwing lobs to my top bigs. I'm a chef, no look, what's the top dish? Tie game, through the pressure as the clock ticks. Crossover, step back, hit a shot, swish. War. Tell them that's what we ready for. War. Tell them that's what we ready for. War. Bringing that to competitors. Do we see the confetti fall? Be ready for war. This is how champions are made, but it never happens in a day. It's all hard work, but it's why what happens when we play 9 out of 10 times. I'ma left you.
All right, she's back. She's back.
Sorry, guys, my phone died, so now I'm on my computer.
You're good. You're good.
I know we only got a couple more minutes with you. I know it's all going on for an hour and a half almost. We got a couple more questions for you. Who is your hero?
My mom.
Your mom?
That's what everyone says. But yeah, she's done so much for me. Like when I was growing up doing those beauty pageants and that competition cheerleading, we'd have to travel for that. And it was really expensive. And she spent, I mean, honey, I'm sure she spent over $1 million on me just doing all the activities I did growing up.
That's awesome, man. That's really cool.
Yeah, we're really close. She's my best friend now. I mean, now that I'm older, she was very strict growing up. I made straight A's, and she was very strict, but now she's my best friend. You know, we go have glasses of wine together. You know, I can go to the bar with her. I wouldn't mind. I love her to death. I tell her everything. I call her like 10 times a day. She probably loves when I'm filming the challenge because I'm not like, oh, I just had some chicken nuggets. Like, I don't give a damn, Ashley. Yeah.
Daniel, you have final questions you want to ask her?
I don't, but we got one more comment here. Wanted to wait for the end. So here it is. I may not be able to offer you $1 million, but it doesn't matter because you already got that. But I can give you 1 million reasons why you should say yes to a Zoom date with me. What do you say? We can make a fun show out of it.
Oh my God.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Oh, she's breaking up. She's breaking up.
Sorry.
Oh, it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. Ashley, you know what, man? I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for coming on tonight. I know you're super busy, but you know it means a lot for us as a company that be able to get you on And as one of my personal favorites of the challenge, thank you so much for coming on. You're a G. I love how you play the game. I love how you are, and I'm love that you're blunt and you're real about it. So I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for coming on tonight.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you guys so much for having me. Anytime, just slide in the DMs, and I'll come back anytime and talk to you guys. I love y'all. I really appreciate it.
That guy just commented might be sliding your DMs here real soon.
Okay. I told you I like fancy dinners, so you better be prepared.
Right. Thank you so much, Ashley, for tuning in. Thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight. Thank you, Ashley. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, have a nice night.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight. For behalf of Daniel I and the Buzz, really thank you guys so much. We appreciate the comments, the likes, and the views. If you check it out, we are wearing our Manscaped t-shirts. That is our partners through what we're doing on StreamYard and what we're doing through our business in the Buzz. Check out this little clip we have for you. Then we're going to say goodbye. Yes, sir. Your balls will welcome that. Daniel, any final things you want to say?
No, I'm just amazed by all the things that we heard from her, and I didn't expect for her to really enjoy traveling and enjoying all the foods in the different countries. That was a nice thing to find out about her. What about you?
Yeah, man. Iceland having the best food. That was crazy. I didn't expect that. Her traveling a lot, very from small beginnings in her home state with Virginia. Didn't know she was a model before she got into Real World Ex-Plosion. Doesn't really keep in contact with the castmates besides Corey and Jenny. So that was really cool to find out and figure out. But overall, man, she's a beast, dude. She's getting up there in the Mount Rushmore for the females, and probably overall. I mean, she was a few minutes away from winning in season 34 of War of the Worlds 2, which would have made her a 3-time champ. So probably one of the best interviews we had, engaging wise. I appreciate it again, Ashley, for coming on. Yep. Really awesome. Daniel and I, we thank you so much for doing it. And guys, thank you so much for tuning in. This is The Buzz. And catch up, like us, follow us on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. We will keep on having these interviews come in. We got another challenger coming on next week. We'll let you guys know when we get the video and all that done and all the stuff situated, and we'll share it to you guys. It's going to be on Tuesday. We'll let you find out when we have the video done. For Daniel and I, thank you guys so much for tuning on, and we'll catch you guys next time. Thank you.